Stop number 9 of the 2022 Championship Tour sees us on the Eastern Cape, South Africa, at Jeffreys Bay. There isn't really anywhere else in the world you'd rather be today. Conditions like this, watching the best in the world go at it. We've got 2 more excellent surfers on the backhand, out in the water. Italo Ferreira, Nat Young, 2019 world champ, taking on the veteran of Nat Young, who ripped his early round heat. What kind of tubes they are, all of this stuff making up part of the score. Meanwhile, a man who is ever dangerous at any location, particularly out here. Finalist last time we were here, back in his title season. Italo Ferreira tagging it really hard. Loads of amplitude from his surfing, going all the way from the bottom of the wave right up to the top. Belts that turn massive, hangs it up and lands, and he loves it.
Yeah, that looked like a big old sell from Italo. That last maneuver was definitely dynamic.
He actually really went straight up into that aggressive.
He did. I mean, he was very committed on that closing section. Just grabbing that rail for a bit more control through the bottom turn. Italo, he keeps it so tight in the pocket, and that's what I really appreciate about this guy. But then when he gets there, he goes beyond vert with that board, swings it around, lots of spray. You know, it looks like he's riding smaller equipment with that rounded tail, and he's able to really whip it around in the pocket. Doesn't get drawn too far out on the open face. Beautiful series of maneuvers from Italo. But like you said, he really makes sure that, you know, he doesn't project out over it. He kind of got, like, really stuck into that section. We'll see what the judges think of it.
Absolutely clobbering it on the end section of that wave, and the bellow, the full voice of Ferreira.
I think for Italo too, I mean, obviously when you've got a world title to your name.
The only thing missing from that wave. Meanwhile, here's an entry from Nat Young, getting into it. Nat Young, we know all about his backhand weaponry, loves the juice. Such a good skill set on the backhand. Set up here, just a little out on the face, hasn't really gone into the lip as yet on this one. So he'll get himself an opening number. It was a modest number for Ferreira that came through, 383 for Italo's first wave. Waiting for another number for him for that big finish though.
Wave of the heat so far. He waited a long time for that. I think he wanted to get some warmth in his body and feel that board under his feet.
Here goes Italo Ferreira. He's got an absolute ton of speed. The forward stance, that back leg tucked in. And looking for something down the line which wasn't really forthcoming. And he'll just kick out of that.
Mentally, it's not easy, you know. So like a lot of sports, but that's probably why I want to be like that. Yeah.
Outside of the jersey, what are you doing to make sure that happens for you?
And we just keep good vibes with Leandro, Iago, Bemrose, and my wife Julia's here. So just stay around with people, and yeah, one by one.
That's just got to give you so much to take the next round.
Definitely, that momentum that you can carry just by hearing that number, by hearing the beach announcer announce that you've got an out 1-7, you get a bit of pep in your step, and it definitely carries through to your performance on your next wave.
Italo Ferreira here, swinging, setting up, looking down the line as he projects his energy and his speed. Big floater, almost wobbled himself off. Such good control though from that compact stance from Italo. Slicing with a hooking backhand turn hard off the bottom. Another big finish as well. Dealing with the whitewater. Here's another look at his last effort.
Yeah, that medium-sized wave, but this one just drains off the reef so nicely. So Italo starts to glide through here. Almost kind of has a misstep. He kind of almost loses it over that rail there, but like a cat, just stays on his feet. Winds through this section. Beautiful connection with that lip line, but that move right there, really dynamic through the inside section. Is this the 417 that he requires to take the lead? In my mind, yes, it is. It's going to be that number for sure, and he finishes it so well. So
where did he find the end section from? That was a closing turn. He pretty much straightened out in the whitewater as he just powers out of that turn. Speaking of power, eyes on Nat Young, and that one will just run away from him. Nat Young will go down. So a great goofy matchup going down in the water right now. Ferreira getting the advantage in that particular exchange.
And he's got a perfect head-to-head record against Nat Young, 2 previous heats. Looking for his 3rd victory over the Californian as we see Nat up now. Big section standing up here. And he does well to hang on to that move. That whitewater tried to knock him off. That wave did break in half though. And he's really looking to tap into the flow and the momentum down the line here. Just sticking with it. Just hoping that it does do something special through the inside. Nice backhand carve there, but he's going to kick out of this one. He just never really got that rhythm that he had in the opening round with those big backhand blasts on that rod. It's Nat Young up against Italo. That's a great exchange. Both goofy footers, obviously both have those big vertical hits that they can go to. Also, both are able to drift across the lip after they release those fins and maintain that down the line flow. Here goes Italo again, already a couple of excellent scores to his name. And he has really cemented a great relationship with this wave after really struggling to turn in solid results here in his first few efforts. A second place finish in 2019. And at the moment, it feels like he's on his way to another big finish and making his move up the leaderboard at the very appropriate time coming to this back half of the year. He's really starting to pick up some momentum.
Well, he's had to. You know, at the start of the season wasn't the greatest for him, you know, and so ultimately he's been able to keep himself above the cut line.
Wow.
Nice finish there.
Amazing control as he stops the finish at the end of this ride. Right behind him though, Kyle Belly locked in, still travelling in this one, and he'll take the low road exit. Could just see that board flickering inside the tube as he fought his way through the different sections.
It's only a slow crawl out, so they get to use it and rest.
That's a
round of
massive
16
advantage as we see the replay here. A couple of big turns on the outside again.
Yeah, and this, I mean, they haven't given the number yet for this one, but it feels like it could easily be in the excellent range as well. I mean, because it was a full package, you know, from the outside sections to the mid portion of it. You know, we've seen kind of the outside section play a role, or the inside section, but not the entire wave, and he's just done that. Look at how crisp his top to bottom surfing is. He's laying over his carves too, you know, getting that knee down on the water. And he's finishing, you know, and knows how important it is to get those finish moves, especially for a judge that's trying to solidify a score. He's always looking up at him. Hey, see, I'm here.
As it does on the outside when you paddle into these rides. Nat Young, he's got to play some serious catch up now. He's going to need a big number here. He's after a 9.47. And he still has time to get the job done with a couple of rides, but he's got to make this one count if he's going to chip away at the requirement. As he just plants that forward. Oh, that was an awkward wipeout. He landed on his board and actually kept riding in front of the whitewater there.
I mean, the board, if it's in two pieces, I mean, he landed pretty darn hard there.
Let's have another look at what happened here.
He had a good turn on the outside section of this. This is the finish move. Again, just riding the lip line. And wasn't able to keep the board.
That's a bit more like it. And Italo up against Nat Young is going to get another opportunity here. His last ride came through at a 7.4, didn't go into his top two.
You see Nat Young's score came in, and if he pulls that last move off.
As we see now, Italo on the outside. Unbelievable backhand snap. I think one of the most high-risk turns that we've seen on that outside section yet. Just fell out of the sky and still has the momentum as he tucks into the tube. Will he come through this one? He's driving, and he reappears, hangs onto it. On his way to a monster score, trying to get rid of an 8.17. And he knows it's good. There's the salute.
Crazy,
awesome
crazy
surfing. That first turn, absolute dynamite. Rosie Hodge out there in the grandstands, lapping it up with the local crowd.
And we're going to see it. I mean, there it is. Watch this first section. And that was exactly that, right there in the most critical part of the wave. And it's still loaded up with a bunch of energy here, and he's attacking it one more time. He somehow just keeps that cat-like ability to stay on top of his board, and especially when that whole barrel filled up with water and he slides out of it, no worries, and gets to the finish.
That was so solid. 9.17 is the number for Italo. Have a look at this in super slow-mo. Just incredible. Upside down through the roof. Just knocked the top right off it.
I mean, if you're the epitome of backhand snapping carve, I mean, it's everything involved there. There was a carve, there was a snap, there was a trip.
With Felipe falling out of the draw, it is really starting to lift now as he takes off. Switch foot. Don't do that to me. It's low, ride a better wave. Switch foot here at Jeffreys Bay than what we have this week. But he's just on, Pete.
He's on.
Unbelievable. Going to that more traditional approach, but doing such a good version of it is suddenly unpredictable when it comes to this guy.
No,
and
so
as
true.
a result, he just kind of knocks your eyeballs out of your head.
Yeah, I know it's surprising to see, not to see him, start the season off a little stronger, being that he has been one of the standouts on tour as of late, but that performance right there was as good as it gets.